Banshee
and we're live.
Is this guy supposed to be...
Hey folks, this is a playtest of the Depths themed board game over lunch today while people are eating. So, these three people have never played the game before, ever. So we are going to go ahead and explain the rules. So, I'm just going to explain the basics and then you guys can learn the rest through playing. The basic idea is this is a 1 versus X card battling board game. So there are cards. You will get a deck of cards that you will use to defeat your opponents. The good guys win together. Bad guys win solo. So one of the key questions that we're going to ask here is who wants to play as the Servant of the Depths? This is the Depths, the place of evil, living horror, and malevolence. So one of you was formerly one of your friends, a delver into the depths, has now transformed into Chibi Cthulhu.
So this is the betrayal mechanic has happened even before we started.
The betrayal mechanic has happened. There used to be a fuller version of the game where the betrayal mechanic happened, then we were like, let's just make a version with just the boss fight.
Would you say being the
I think we're gonna have to grab you another chair.
That's fine right there.
Well, I think that one doesn't work very well. It's not a very good chair, I don't think.
No, this is fine.
Okay, great. So,
Are we gonna slide around there, or where do you want?
yeah, slide around, rotate around this way.
Would you like? We're streaming this, by the way.
Yeah,
Already.
we're live.
I'll do this.
Oh, okay.
We're live.
Oh, now I'm on camera.
Okay, so that's the basic theme.
This is my lunch. It's great.
In order to form your deck, you will choose a race and a class. And then this is a very, very simple form of deck building called, you might call it shuffle building.
I guess we can keep that.
For a very, very simple form of deck building that you are going to form your deck right now by choosing a race and a class. You're going to shuffle the race and class cards together to form your deck. Take a note, there are some cards that don't get shuffled in, like the top card that is the label, essentially, of the deck.
So our class and race is random?
No, choose.
Oh,
And then
choose.
The figures are correlated to them, or
no,
not
the
at all?
figures are just
Okay.
from random other board games that we have lying around. The game will have figures. Now, who wants to play the bad guy? Do you want to play the bad guy? You're the most familiar with this
I
game.
can play the bad guy.
Okay,
I was
you
gonna
play
say,
the bad guy. It
I
has the
don't know the
highest
game,
learning
so
curve,
that's why I
and
figured.
you are somewhat more familiar with the rules. At least you'll have some memory of it more than these guys. So
Also,
you're
you're a
playing the
producer,
Sneaking
so.
Scorpion. You're going to have to shuffle it real well. Sneaking Scorpion's cards recently changed, so that is going to be something that I want tested, or at least tweaked.
Wait, shuffle these with this.
Those three stay out.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys are picking your racing class. Some combos are better than others, but don't worry too much about it. Some combos are very much better than others.
What's the closest to a Nightshade from Dayok? Would that be the Mage? I'll go Mage.
Okay.
This is my first character I made in Dayok.
I will do either of those. Whatever.
This
Which one is it?
is
These two
Camelot
are-
Unchained.
Yeah, and the one you're holding your race one. So,
Yeah, race
okay.
fine.
Yeah, because there's only two of us because he's the bad guy, so that makes sense.
Now we have altered this board, by the way. In the
No, sorry, there's gonna be like
newer
a-
version, there are some side bits to the board where we can stack up places for you to stack up the cards and the armor tokens and everything. Help you keep it organized.
Devout is like cleric-ish. Is that reasonable?
What's that?
Like Devout's like a healer, or
Oh yeah, Devout is like a healer. Yeah, Devout is like a hybrid healer and
are we?
mage attacker kind of.
How screwed are we if we don't have a healer?
That depends who you ask. Some people say the healer. Some people here say the healer is essential. But anyway, the boss cards are being playtested anyway, so don't worry too much about it.
I'm gonna say
We're just
I'm
gonna
gonna be
go
an
with
archer then, and we'll see how.
All
it
right,
goes
so
without.
pull out the label card, and then also in your class cards there is a move, punch, and bandage card. Pull those out and lay those out in front of you. Those are your base actions. Those are your basic actions. Those are always available to you. You don't have to play a card from your hand in order to use those actions. They do cost an action. However, you get 3 actions on your turn. That is the main. Yep, that's in your deck. So that is the main action of the game. The main mechanic of the that you take your turn. You get 3 actions. And normally that is either triggering the 3 base actions in front of you. One of them is an action, or playing a card from your hand is usually in action. However, the exception to that, of course, is blood cards. Blood cards are in your deck. They are basically mana. They, of course, this is being a horror-themed game. You are going to be spending your blood to fuel your attacks. Some cards cost 0 blood, and the cost is in the top right-hand side. Shuffle the rest of the cards together, by the way. Take out the label card and the 3 base actions, the 2 label cards and the 3 base actions.
So
shuffle everything
this?
else. Yeah, shuffle your race and class cards together to form your deck.
Race and class cards.
Quick anatomy of a card. There is the title of the card at the top. There is a blood cost on the top right.
Okay.
There are card types. This is basic and attack. This is a punch card. And then there's a range below that, range 0. Okay, that is how many spaces away on the board you have to beat it to your target. Then there's the main text of the card, which is what it does when it's activated. And then at the very bottom, in smaller text, it says what deck it goes into, what type of card it is. So, you know, that we can put the decks back together at the end of the game. By the way, there is gorgeous art from Inkheart, the wonderful Inkheart, that is for all of the face of all these cards. This is not how they will look. Or even how
so
they look now.
There is that when I see the specs.
We just haven't gotten. I just haven't gotten it printed. Print on demand prototype done yet. But that is going to happen as soon.
So
as...
all of these ones that I haven't looked at.
as soon as we have time to put that together. Okay, so that is the main action of your deck. You're going to be drawing 6 cards once you shuffle up your decks real well. And the way you playing a blood card, of course, does not cost an action. You can play any amount of blood cards on your turn, or even on other players' turns, and that may become necessary.
Okay. Do we need to have the race things visible to us for any reason? Or?
No, you can set them aside. Farinelli, there are some special setup things that you get to do. You see that some of the board is already set up. You are going to get to know what these 3 spaces are. Okay, so look at those 3 cards. They correspond to the face-down tiles, and then you can place your mini anywhere on the board. What does the board mean? Okay, so these are different spaces. The white lines are the permeable line delineations between spaces, so you can move from this space to this space. That's one move. So one activation of your basic move, or one move if your card says move, multiple moves on it, right? Then you can move 2 spaces and across that. These are walls. These are the weird biomechanical style Giger-esque walls of in this little twisted maze within the depths. So you cannot pass through these. However, some cards do let you break walls. And when you break a wall, you get a broken token, also a fantastic token that Inkheart has now made, but this is what we have for playtesting purposes. So then that becomes a permeable wall, and you always have to connect one space to one other space when you break a wall. So that can allow further movement across the map. And then so some spaces are blank, like this one, right? You move on to this space and you can fight and stuff. And of course, range is determined simply by counting spaces. There's no line of sight or anything. It's just how many spaces is it to count. And you can count it however you like. Yep, that's all one space. These are terrain slots. Okay? When you move onto an empty terrain slot, for whatever reason, then you draw a random terrain of the particular type that it is. There are conditions, traps, and mysteries. Then once you draw that card, you can read it out or whatever. It gets placed near the board, and we find the correct tile, the corresponding tile that shows where on the board it is. So there's matching art and names on the tiles. And that will have some effect. There's usually an on-entry effect, which is something that happens as soon as you enter the space. And there's often a passive effect, which is something that's always on. Pretty self-explanatory, really. All right, let's do HP. So everybody gets an HP dial.
Oh boy.
Okay. Set that these are from WizWar, so we have our own. We just haven't printed them up yet. Set that to 10, please. What color do you want? Here, you get yellow.
Give me that. I mean, the green
I'm
one.
trying to think what color makes more sense. I just write it.
That's not gonna work.
All right.
I'm at 30, right? I'm at 10 3 times.
Yes, exactly. So, in addition to those, you get wound tokens. So they have a healthy side and a wounded side. So take one of those and set it to the healthy side. Now, when you hit 0, you flip your healthy token to the wounded side. He gets 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then reset to 10. If you were in the middle of taking damage, it rolls over. However, additionally, your HP cap is 2 higher, so it's 12.
Okay.
So the baseline is 10, but you can overheal, which makes the healer more powerful early in the game. In addition, everybody is going to draw a random armor token. Do not look at it. Place it in front of you, please. When you take damage, anytime you take an instance of damage, you may choose to activate your armor token, in which case it flips over. Usually it blocks some amount of damage, unknown, until you flip it, and then is discarded into a face-up discard pile, which will be here. So there's a kind of a risk-reward because some armor tokens are far more valuable than others. You never really know exactly, and you don't want to waste it if it's a good one. Farinelli, you get one of these. Well, his base actions are far more powerful than your guys. He is transformed into a giant monster. His base move, punch, and bandage are transformed versions, and one of them gives him an armor token. So he definitely has the capability to be very defensive should he choose to be that way. Okay, you guys ready?
Can he go through broken walls?
Yes.
Oh, God.
All right, draw your 6 cards. Take a look at them. So basically, you'll discard cards. You'll draw cards. You'll draw cards as the next player is going, and then you'll always be drawing up to 6. Okay. So
You described this format of cards. I have another format of card in here that I don't know if it's specific to me or if everybody has these, but is that an action to play that?
Oh, yes. So there are stance cards. The other format of card is stance cards, right?
I mean these.
So the blood cards are the fuel. They don't cost an action to play. You can play any of them from your hand.
Okay, now I got it.
But you must pay the blood cost in order to pay cards that have a higher than 0 cost. Now there are stances. Stances come out in front of you. You can only have one stance out at a time. Any new stance replaces the old stance. Okay? So, Farinelli, to kick things off at the top of the round, you are going to deal out an event card to each of the other players. So the event cards are the boom cards.
Oh, I forgot about these.
Be nice.
These are my favorite.
Do we look at these?
Oh, I'm just give this one to Sierra.
No, don't look at them.
Do not look at them. You must trigger the event card at some point on your turn, not interrupting another action. So another risk-reward mechanic is you don't know if it's going to mess up your turn or if activating it early on would give you more actions to deal with its effects.
Are some of them good?
One of them is maybe good. This is the action of the depths aiding its servant, but it is a mercurial beast. This is your Maw token. You can use that later on in the game after you take damage. It flips. You can use that to bring back old events that you liked. Okay, so we're ready to get started. You guys are going to get the first turn. You may go in any order you choose, and you can reset it. You can change it at any round. So who wants to go first?
Are we not on the board yet?
Oh, yes. You have to put yourselves on the board. I forgot about that.
Can more than one person?
Well, that's
be on the
part
same
of
time?
that's part of what happens here. Okay. So each of you is going to place your token down on any edge space, and you will trigger the terrain should you choose to put yourself down on some terrain.
Safety first.
Can more than one person be on the same time?
Yes, you can.
All right.
Are any of the terrain things good?
Yes. The terrain can be beneficial or harmful.
Okay.
And traps are the most dangerous. Mysteries are the least dangerous.
Well, I want to see what
not
happens
too
here.
close to
I'm gonna start on this condition.
Yeah, I want to get the prototypes done too, Ian-Card. I'm very excited to play test with everything.
Look at this.
Should I do that right now or on my turn?
Yeah, because
Max, does this condition trigger on my turn or right now?
As soon as you enter the space, even if the game hasn't really started yet.
Deep darkness. On entry, no effect. Passive. The space counts +1 for counting range, not movement, into or out of it. Enemies get the same penalty.
Where are you? This you?
Yeah.
All right, so that goes there. And we just
Oh,
put
is
that
that a
near
deep
the board.
darkness? Okay.
So this
That-
card can
yeah.
be passed around for anyone to read the effects.
Yep.
That's the whole point of putting the rules on cards. So this space is deep darkness. That's going to increase the range.
I'm just like, I fell behind.
Yeah, come on, keep going. Oh, is it my turn?
I think we can go in any order.
I'll go.
Okay.
I'm feeling good about this. Now that it's all deep darkness,
Yeah.
I'm a little bit braver now. Let's step on that one.
Yeah, some of these are not good though.
It's real dark back
You
here.
die.
Instant.
Waters of Forgetfulness. No effect, passive. As an action that does not count against your actions in a turn, you may discard your hand and draw that many cards.
Ooh.
I don't need a mulligan right now.
So I just put the terrain token down in that space.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
What was I doing?
All right, so you get 3 actions on your turn.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
that
so I did
counted
a
as
move.
one. That was a move.
I don't need to punch anything. You wanna
Don't
come over
forget
here
you
so I
can
punch
bandage up to 12. You can move 3 times.
Oh, you can reuse that. Okay, I was about to ask.
Mhm.
Okay.
You only
I'll
can
try to
use
move
bandage once, though.
Per turn.
It says
Yeah.
that. Once per turn only.
Yep. Okay. So unless it says that,
Yeah, unless
ones
it
from our
says that.
hand are one use only, though, right?
Well, they get discarded when played.
So for a stance, when I it's a persistent effect
Yes.
until I start another one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So mine has a condition on it that will end it, too.
All cards played go into your discard pile unless your personal discard pile, unless stance.
All right. Oh. Yeah.
No giant book of rules for everyone to pass around. Well, that's not giant. I think when we added art to it, correct me if I'm wrong, ink art, I think it hit around 12 to 14 pages, and that includes all of the art and, extra stuff in it.
What you doing, Sarah?
Just debating on how long.
Yeah. So
Is
blood
it your turn still?
I end my turn.
Okay.
You have-
did
oh,
you
you
go
have to do your-
first?
no.
No,
Oh,
you
so
just entered the
wanted one
board.
action?
Yeah.
That's
And you
all
have
you
to
wanted?
do your this thing.
I have to look at
Something.
At
this.
some point, you have to flip the event
Yeah.
before your turn ends.
Oh, before my turn ends.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The depths always wins. The character with the lowest health, counting healthy side of wound tokens as 10, heal 4 points. All of the characters take 2 damage.
So what if we all have the same health? Do we all take 2 damage?
Uh-huh.
Dang it.
And no one gets the benefit?
That's what it sounds like.
Cool.
That was neat.
Thanks, Joe.
Oh,
Thanks.
There you go.
Technically his fault.
I ain't gonna complain.
Yeah. So, is blood just for that turn? Like, do you lose it? at the end
Yes,
of the
it's
turn?
like
Okay.
mana.
It's like mana. Got it.
So,
love that.
take the event card, and that goes into your event discard, which is right here.
And how was the
And it does not have a... I'm sorry.
Counts plus one.
That
per
one
turn
goes face
range,
down.
This one goes
not
face
on
down
the
on the bottom.
Yeah.
Or is it?
If it has a moss symbol on it, you can bring it back from the
Yeah.
discard.
So is each one of these things a range? How is range
Yeah.
calculated?
Each space is one range.
Oh, gotcha. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So if he was on range 2, you could shoot him right now.
Oh, but I ended my turn though.
But you didn't have to end your turn.
Did you?
after
How many
did that.
actions did you have left?
Oh, I had 2 more actions.
All right, well, come on, man. You got to use
All right,
those.
I'm gonna burn a blood, and I'm gonna use explosive frost, and I'm gonna shoot the Cthulhu with the fur loincloth.
What's the range
All right,
on
what's
that?
it do?
3 range.
Okay, you can hit me.
Yeah. You may destroy a wall that borders the space, or deal 2 damage to a character in range. The next rune card you play this turn, which damages that character, deals +1. I don't think I have a rune card. Oh, I do, but I have to be right up close to him. Danger close. I'm not doing that.
Okay, so how much damage does he take?
2.
Taking 2.
And
So
then-
he's going to turn his dial 2 ticks.
And then
Fair
what,
enough.
what do I do with these?
Those go in your discard pile, your personal discard
Boom.
pile. All right, you done?
I am. I'm
All
officially
right.
Gonzo.
Who's going next?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna bandage to start. I'm gonna gain me one little health back.
Oh shit! I should have
Oh,
done
that's
that.
yeah.
No.
I also want to
Yeah, now I'm like-
spend a blood and do. Oh wait. Oh, I don't have to expend blood for this. I'm just gonna play Hungry for Battle. Playing this card doesn't count against your limit of actions. You and allies in range may draw 2 cards and keep 1. Discard the other.
What's the range?
2.
Okay.
Both of you are within range.
That's range 2?
Oh, yeah.
Dang.
How does the deep darkness screw me on this?
2.
So I draw 2, discard 1.
Yeah, draw 2 and then discard 1.
So Max, if the one I'm in counts as deep darkness.
Oh, sorry. Draw 2 and keep 1.
Yeah, that's going to
Here.
increase range.
So how do you count it?
Well, she's
draw
1,
2,
2.
And then I'm still in range, or
Yep.
I'm out of range.
You're in range.
I'm in range. Okay, so 2.
If you're in the same space, you're in range 0.
Okay, 2 keep 1. Is that what it was?
Yeah, draw 2 and keep 1 of the 2.
Discard the other.
Well,
Oh shit.
And I also would like to activate a stance. Spending a blood to do so.
I'm discarding a 3 blood.
So I gain +1 armor using Bloody Steel.
Very nice. Is that a stance?
Yes.
All right, so that's going to stay out. Your discard pile is face up, somewhere around, so you can know what you've got in your discard pile.
Okay. And that ends my...
All right, then as the next player goes, you're going to draw up to 6. And by the way, before you draw up, you can actually discard a card.
Oh, you can always choose. Oh, one card.
Yeah, so if
Okay.
you could play nothing on your turn, you still can cycle
Okay.
through your cards slowly. Well, if your turn is done, you haven't activated your event card
That's
yet.
right.
Yep.
Here we go.
Ruh-roh.
Twisting Traps. You must draw the top card of the trap deck and place its terrain token on any open terrain slot. The servant may then move trap tokens around on the board as they wish. If the terrain in a space with the character changes, they take 1 damage and count as entering that space. So, where's the trap deck?
Right here.
Can you please hand me the top card? Dripping Poison. On entry, shuffle a poison card into your deck and draw a card.
And the poison deck is very handy because I definitely didn't put it away by accident. Yep, there it is. See?
I even saw it. I was going to pull that as a class.
We're gonna need
With a
this.
poison class.
All right, so take one of those
Sounds good to me.
cards and do whatever it says.
One of these?
Yeah?
Well, she hasn't placed the traps anywhere.
She has to put the trap in.
Oh, yeah, you got to put
She
it down.
may not be in the trap room.
It can be any open slot.
You get to put it down or the servant
It
does?
says the servant does.
Oh, you're not the
Oh.
servant. He's the servant. He gets to put that wherever he wants.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's just put it in where that brown guy is.
All right,
Whoa,
so
whoa, whoa,
there's
whoa, whoa.
a
My plan is to
poison.
go hide in this corner. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not
Oh,
going to come
that's-
through the trap.
Oh, right. Opening up walls.
Dripping
That's-
poison.
Oh, I could punch a hole in the wall back
So
there.
whoever that is now gets to put a poison card in their deck.
That's just mean. It's me.
There you go.
Do I just put it in here
So
somewhere?
that is permanently
Or no,
a
or this
room
deck.
full of poison now.
In your deck, not in your hand.
Okay. I'll
When do we-
shuffle it in.
Yep, and just shuffle it in.
When do we draw back? When do we draw cards?
At
What-
the
After your
beginning,
turn.
after your turn. So when she started her turn, you can draw up to 6.
Drop back up to
But
6. and
but
you
she
can
made me
discard
draw a
one.
card and discard one, so I'd be at 7.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sitting at
So
7
I would
right
be
now.
over 6, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
There's no maximum
But
hand
you can
size.
choose to discard one for any reason you want.
Fair enough.
Okay. So now your turn is over.
Correct.
Man.
There's only one guy left on the good side.
Well, I'm kind of surrounded by problems already, so I'm going to actually do my...
That's right. Someone gets to play the monster.
whatever you call this thing
All right.
first.
You know what to do with that.
Shuddering Floors. Servant of the Depths may immediately move each other character on the board up to 1 space. If each Delver immediately pays at least 1 blood, this event is prevented. Do you both have 1 blood and want to make this not happen?
Can you? What was the event again?
He gets to move us around 1 space.
One
One
blood.
space.
I'm paying a blood.
Well, yeah, until we know she's going to do it, it's not really worth doing.
I'm already in a
right?
bad space anyway, so I'm good.
So I guess we're not doing that? Like we all have to pay it
Oh,
to
if we
cancel
all
it.
want to do it, sure, I have one.
Blood pact.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep, burn it.
Bundy.
Burning it.
Yeah, this goes to our district. Okay, and then where does this go? Because it didn't happen.
Never give him control. Never give him control.
If we have a way not to, yeah. Okay. There's going to be a trap here anyway.
Why?
A random unknown trap.
Yeah, exactly.
Guts or no guts, no glory.
I could just punch a hole in the wall right there too, theoretically, and go into mystery.
That would certainly shorten the range, I think. Yep.
Do I have enough blood to do both of these things?
You're currently 5 range away.
Yeah, exactly. And the darkness thing makes me even further.
That's 5.
What does poison do? You actually
If you walk in there, you get a poison token.
You have to draw a
Minus
poison
card.
token and put it in your deck.
Poison just
And
keeps
it
doing 1
keeps
damage to
coming
you
around,
as you reshuffle your deck.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna do the not exciting turn. I think I'm gonna bandage once, and then I will. Yeah, I have to come out of there. So. So this goes into my discard pile from that trap. Where's the trap?
No, you shuffle it into your
Shuffle
regular
it
draw
into
deck.
Draw deck.
Yeah.
My whole team's poisoned. This is great. What a good start.
Well, technically, he was also on our team before, so so yeah. Whole team is poisoned or
I'm not poisoned.
servant of the depths.
Just you.
I just forgot.
And then now I'm 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm still too far away. So what was this deal? Oh, that was the waters.
So
This is
you-
why I
you
love playing the
forget when you
Devouts as
enter
a
there,
card.
you can choose
Poison
to-
isn't as
You can
scary.
discard and draw.
Yeah, Matt was asking me if the Devout was a required class to play, and I'm like, I don't know. Some people say so.
Well,
I don't think so.
people who don't like being
we have
poisoned say
bandages.
so.
We have bandages.
Yeah.
We're fine.
We're fine.
There's nothing a first aid kit can't do.
That's
Yeah,
right.
So that's it for me. Super excited.
Okay, it's the boss's turn.
Oh,
Okay.
I move 5.
5. I deal 8 damage.
Farinelli is going.
I am going to spend some blood. We'll do 2 blood, and I'll do pooling pinchers. You may teleport enemies in range to your space, then do 2 damage to all enemies in your space. Since
And you
I'm
have
here,
increased
I have range
range.
3, so I will pull all 3 of you
Oh.
into this space.
It's going great.
When can I use a card? Whenever I want?
No, you have to spend an action to play an action card.
So,
Oh.
get your guys, come on.
Didn't I have one
No
action
cool
left
like
from my
blood
turn?
pact make that not happen thing.
No, this is a card from his hand, not an event.
Okay, so now everyone take 2 damage.
Oh,
Does
okay.
my armor do anything for my stance?
Okay, so you have the stance gave you an armor token, which means you should draw another one of
another
these.
one. Okay.
So you have 2 armor tokens now. So whenever you take damage, you can choose to take it on your armor, which will do something random.
Okay.
So you can take it on your armor, which means flipping an armor token right now.
I'm gonna, since I have 2, I'm gonna flip one. just
All
to
right,
see-
flip it.
Just see
See
what
what
it's
it does.
like.
What's it say?
Block 1 damage and trash all poison from your discard pile. Then discard. Wait,
From your
it's not in my
discard
On your discard pile.
Dang it. But I'll take the block 1 damage at least.
All right, so you only tick your dial once instead of twice, and that goes into an armor discard.
I still had an action when I ended my turn. Do I still get to do anything? No.
It's use it or lose it.
Okay,
Does that
so
roll over?
Can I bank my action?
Sucks.
I'm going to spend another blood,
Uh-oh.
and I'm going to play Gift of the Servant, which is move up to 3 spaces. You may ignore on-entry effects for this movement. If this movement causes you to leave a space containing enemies, shuffle 3 poison cards into each of their decks and move them up to 1 space.
3 apiece?
So some people think
Yep.
the devout is important.
No,
Jesus.
this is fine.
So I'm going to move here.
By the way, he's a giant, monstrous, twisted
So
scorpion.
each
type
of you
thing.
get your 3
Okay.
poison tokens.
A third of my deck's
Are all
gonna
poison,
be poison
are all
cards
poison things
now.
the same?
Yeah, they're the same.
Alright.
Where do they get shuffled in, or they?
Right.
Yeah.
I'd love to put in different random poison effects, but the problem is that it's A, slows the game down, and B,
No, this is
like
fine.
2 damage is like way too much.
So
So what happens
rules
if poison cards
clarification,
stack?
because now I can move them each up to 1 space. So they all come back into this space with me, and
and
now
And
I
that's
get
how
them. I
bad-
still have movement left. If I move back again, do they get poisoned again?
No, because you have to use each part of the card before moving on to the next bit.
Okay, so now that they're back into this space with me and they got all of their poison stuff,
That was only 2 actions to do all that? Great.
yeah.
He doesn't get extra actions. His actions are just devastating, right?
This is
Correct.
I needed 4.
Although there is an event that gives him an extra action
Oh,
unless
okay.
you do something.
Oh gosh.
His actions are just devastating, right?
Right. I'm going to play Veil's Dark Embrace. Move up to 2 spaces. You may ignore on entry effects for this movement. If this movement causes you to enter a space containing enemies, deal 3 damage to them. So I'm going to go here, and then go here,
Oh my god.
and then you all take 3 damage.
Which you can trigger an armor on.
3 damage is a
Yeah,
lot.
I have to. I'm
Yeah,
triggering my
okay.
armor.
You want to do yours first?
And then this is discarded.
I block one of them, I discard, and I get a new one.
Nice.
and then I
nice.
draw up to 6, right?
Mine is I block 1 and discard
Yes.
it. So it's almost as good as
And
you
then
guys.
you will
Mine's way
and
better.
then you will deal out event cards at the
Yeah,
top
I
of the
get to
round.
block it
Right.
and then just
But-
discard it.
We now, at least now we have different health values. So if one of those things happens again.
That's for you. That's for
Do you know what these do when you
Nope.
have them out? Okay.
That's for you.
If you guys wound him, then the Maw token opens. And then he can bring back old events.
If we wound him, which is our goal.
This is great. I'm
So is it our turn again?
Now it's
Yeah.
your turn.
Sounds that way.
Let me start.
okay. Oh god, if you trigger something.
So my stance says, if at any time you have no armor when the stance is in front of you, you may immediately discard this card to give you and your allies in range +1 armor.
Oh, sweet.
So I'm gonna discard it and thus I'll get armor. Because we're gonna need it.
That's not good.
I am then going to bandage. Clearly. How much range is he in? Are we all in the same space?
Yes,
Yes,
we
we
are
are.
all in the same
Alright,
space.
I'm about to be mean.
We're huddling for warmth.
Yep.
Be mean. Do it.
Okay. So I'm going to. Okay, so this costs 2, but I don't have 2 on the dot. I have a 3
Doesn't
and then
matter.
a 1.
Yeah,
Can
it's just extra.
Well, what I was
because
going to ask is this one costs 1,
you
so
can
could I
split
just
it up.
activate these two? Okay,
Totally.
cool. So first I'm going to activate Sickening Strike, which is deal 2 damage to a character in range. Attacks you make this turn, including this one, get +1 damage and +1 range. So is it a total of 3 damage?
Yep.
Alright, so I'm going to do 3 damage to you, sir.
It does cost you 2 blood.
Nope.
So you have to play
I
the
only
blood
take
card
1.
first.
Okay, so.
So you have 3. You have 1 blood remaining.
Yes. So you did
What
2
happened?
damage.
I use my armor and block 2 of it.
Very nice.
Okay.
And discard.
And then I'm going to. What does this do?
That anybody in this hex is 1 range further away, and if you're in this hex, you get +1 range.
Actually, you're 1 range closer by being in that hex.
That's
What, really?
it says. Abilities used while in this space get +1 range. Abilities that target this space at +1 range further than normal. Right. So if
Okay.
you were here, it would be 2.
So I'm gonna
It's the exact opposite of Deep Darkness.
Yeah.
activate
Unholy Wind.
push forward, which is you may move up to 2 spaces, bringing any willing allies with you, whose spaces you exit. You and allies in range gain +1 armor. So I am going to probably move here for anybody that would like to join. Right, that's 1, 2.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to move there
Okay.
with my guy. And then I'm going to
Which way did you go?
Through
This
your
way.
thing.
You take 1 damage for going through the winds.
That's fine.
Oh, they all take 1 damage when I teleported them. Oh no, I teleported.
That was our
everyone
cool
into there,
ideas
right?
in cart.
Yeah.
Alright,
And then we gain an armor.
Yeah, I think that would be really
If
cool
we
for like
move,
an
we get an armor?
expansion or
Yeah.
something. Like,
Yeah.
if somebody
no,
is
it
like
just says
really
you and
into the
allies
game
in range
already
gain one armor, so you
and
two
understands
should
the
get armor.
base
If
rules
you
really
were within
well,
my
like
range.
that would be a really fun, like some other
I'm about to do
fun
something really
poisons
cool.
that aren't
so you
like
wanna go next?
Yeah, I'll
stronger.
go next.
I still
Well,
have
yeah,
to activate
Oh,
this.
she has her
Yeah, I know.
screw us over thing.
What's the fun?
That's one thing I would
So-
really love to expand on.
damage.
But I think like since this is the
Monstrous
core set, this is the
architecture,
base
all
game, I
delvers
think
may
that
immediately choose
different
to teleport
poisons
to the
would
servant of the
not be a
depth's
good
space.
experience.
If they do so,
or I'm
they
actually
all
sure
take
of that.
4 damage and may apply armor as normal. If the delvers do not teleport
For a
to the
first
servant,
time
the servant may instead
player.
teleport
But if somebody's
up to
into
3
the game, I
spaces.
think that's a really great addition.
So we got a choice tonight.
So either
I would
take
die.
4,
Well, no, you would just
We still have armor.
you'd be wounded.
you would be wounded. You would flip your thingy over.
Well, we're already next to him. The worst case scenario is we let him move, which would be to you.
Mm-hmm.
Or somewhere
Or, I mean,
else
he can move
entirely.
anywhere up to 3 spaces.
Yeah. I don't.
I
Want
kind
him
of don't
to.
want him in my space, so.
I'm at 4 health right now. Even if I use armor, there's no guaranteeing like I will survive this next.
So
Can
you
you
want to
flip-
give
Well,
him
it's
the
4
opportunity
to a
teleport?
wound.
Yeah. Well, I know, but
Can he flip multiple armor, or is it just one?
Each time you take an instance of damage, you can flip 1 armor.
So y'all just want to stay put?
I'm cool with.
Okay, that seems cool.
Okay.
We'll stay put?
I'm staying put.
Okay. That was...
You can move anywhere you want up to 3
yeah.
range.
Teleport. So you don't
Teleport.
trigger things in between.
Poof.
That one sucked.
I don't think any of these are going to be pleasant. These are all the band-aids we have to rip off at the end of our turn.
I'm just trying to think the strategy behind wanting to teleport to them and take 4 damage. Well, what strategy is behind that?
Maybe if you're going to do
Maybe
like a
there's a class
one-punch
for-
combo or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe there's something that's like all the damage you take this turn is mitigated. I don't know.
All right, flip that.
Is that only 3 spaces? Holy crap.
This space counts as +1 for counting range, not movement, into or out of. Enemies both in the same space can be targeted without this penalty.
Can I just say I love that move because it's not active until you enter it. So
Correct.
now it's 4 range. But
Right.
when he triggered it, it was only 3.
Wait, what happened?
He became further away from us even.
Well,
I'm now at
3
range
range.
4.
3, I guess 3 range if you count this. Oh no, that's right.
Plus
That's
1.
+1.
That's fine. That's whatever.
Very smart. Defensive moves.
I'm fucked.
Why?
Well, I've already done my move and everything. And
You're
I'm
fine.
stuck there.
Well, I can't do what I was going to do now. Which is,
Well, I can't move.
So that was your whole turn?
Yes.
Cool.
You want to flip your thing and see if it shuffles the board somehow?
I want to get this over with. Sucking out souls. This is going to be great.
I didn't need that.
The Servant of the Depths may immediately heal 3 points
Cool,
of damage
cool.
for each Delver currently alive.
So that'd be 9.
That'd be 9.
That's
If
great.
all Delvers choose to immediately take 3 damage each, the Servant's health... I don't think that's...
What's his health cap?
Armor may be
12.
applied. We can apply armor to where, with the damage
Or-
we take...
But he's just gonna go back to his,
Yeah, I
his
know.
cap, and then so most of it's wasted.
Yeah, so I don't want to take damage. But he's fresh as a
What's your
daisy.
health currently at?
7. So I'm only gaining 5 instead of 9.
But still, it's gaining something.
Yeah, but even if
Right,
we were
We as a group lose
But you,
a lot
as a
more.
group, will take 9 damage.
it's not. Yeah, it doesn't justify.
Oh, we take the damage. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
no, no, no.
So-
Take your boon card.
Wait.
This doesn't help my decisions at all. I'm gonna use 1 to bandage. Oh, phew, that's great. That feels good.
You're like gaping wound.
Yeah.
It's like tape shut.
Duct taping my spleen back in. Whatever. I'm gonna go into a stance, cheating death.
That seems like a good thing to cheat right now.
And yeah, no kidding. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and I am. I'm good. Wait, no, I'm not good. I'm moving. I'm moving away from you. I'm gonna go forget all of this over here in the Well of Forgetfulness.
You're playing a Lucrepan mage?
Yeah.
Neat.
Alright, I'm gonna go forget about this for a little while.
Are you done then?
I am donezo.
Oh my god. So 1, 2.
1, 2.
That's not how this card works.
Not for move.
No, for firing.
For firing, yeah.
But I'm not targeting this square. I'm targeting. If I
But
was
if you
going to
go
target
through it,
you,
you'll take a damage.
if I walk through it, I'll take a damage.
Yeah.
But firing through it doesn't seem like it would do anything.
Okay.
Unless I'm reading the card wrong.
I don't know.
1, 2, 3, 4
Right.
is the problem. Just checking.
Yeah, I'm at 4. I'm at
You
4
could
range from
move
you.
one space.
Yeah, I think I'm
and
going to
then do
have
it.
to move 1. I want to see what the hell this does before we die.
Ooh.
What does the snake face
It's a
person
mystery.
do?
It's a mystery. Mystery's the... Other than, I guess, condition could be good or bad. Trap is pretty bad. Mystery, who knows?
Yeah, it could be
Monstrous
good,
Forge.
or it could be bad. Or it could
On
be
entry,
worse.
take 1 damage.
Oh gosh.
As an action that does not count against your limit of actions in a turn, you may destroy the forge to gain 1 armor. You may only destroy it if there are no enemies in your space. Well, shit.
Yeah.
Fuck up the forge.
I am peeing.
Huh?
I'm peeing.
Now, can you activate another mystery in that square now?
Because that's
Oh,
a
well,
wall. I
it's
can't go through
on
that.
move in.
But like, that
Can you
square
step
just
out
keeps
and step
having
in?
mysteries.
Yeah.
That's why it's a mystery.
It's a
Discover
mystery-
something
it's a
new every
mystery spot.
time. It's like Olive
Okay, so
Garden.
now
Something new every
1,
time.
2, 3. Okay, so theoretically, I can actually shoot you now.
Theoretically.
Theoretically, I've used 1 action.
You're going to shoot him theoretically?
Yes.
We're shooting theoretically.
My philosophy did not prepare me for this.
Okay, I'm gonna give myself 4 blood. I'm gonna do Tracer Shot, which deals 2 damage to an enemy in range. You are now in range. And then the next weapon card I play will get +1 range and +1 damage. And then I'm gonna do Follow-Up Strike. If the last action was a weapon card, deal 3 damage +1. So 4 damage, ignoring armor.
Bam.
Yep.
So, you've done 1 damage to me this turn from where I was at the beginning of the turn.
Net gain.
Working.
And now watch when this card heals you by
Yeah.
12. Maneuvers in the shadows. The Servant of the Depths must choose a space. Unless we all teleport to that space, they can take a bonus action.
Does he get to choose a space and then we choose if we
Yeah,
want to go there?
yeah.
Okay, choose your space.
I'll choose this space.
Oh god, no! Okay, so you're closest to him.
Oh,
So,
man.
if he gets a bonus action...
I like that move too. Teleporting them at the start of your turn.
Yeah.
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 This is the worst possible time.
Uh-huh.
So would you rather he take 1 action now or all of us end up in there with him?
I mean, I don't know you guys that well. That'd be cool.
I mean, we thought we knew him.
Yeah. No,
I could take one for the team. That's
yeah.
fine.
Whatever happens, I'll just forget about it.
Yeah. And I'm going to keep finding mysteries, I guess.
So what's going on?
I think we're choosing not to be teleported, so you get a bonus action.
You just take an action right now.
Any action I want to take?
Yeah,
Immediately, yes.
including your base actions.
Where does this go again? Sorry.
Discard. Yep.
Boom.
There's some very cool
I
event
smashed up a
card
forge, though.
art.
That was pretty cool. The only artifact type deal we found.
Do I still
Just
draw
smashed it
up to 6 then before my turn goes? I will
drop back
just
up now.
heal myself for 1 and get an armor token.
So we did nothing.
We did net nothing. We gave him some
him
armor.
armor.
Okay, now it's my turn.
Well, it is 2:02, but do you want to take your turn and
I
then we'll
would
call
love
it?
to take my turn.
I think I just
All
took
right.
2 damage
Just
by
sweep
drawing
the floor.
cards.
All right.
Did you draw 2 poison cards?
Yeah.
Yeah, then you took 2 damage.
That's cool. That's
Don't
cool.
forget they replace themselves.
I could draw 4 cards. if I
So
So you can
wanted
only have
to,
1
but
at a time?
Statistically,
No,
that's a terrible idea.
if you read the poison
so
card,
ditch that
it's
one.
like you draw it,
Draw
take a
it.
damage, discard it, and draw a new card.
I drew another poison.
That's why that armor can trigger once you've taken the poison,
Okay.
because of your
Okay.
poison will be in the
The
discard
third
pile.
poison card, I'm gonna treat with armor. Block
You can't
3
use.
damage.
You can't use.
No?
The new poison text is that you can't use armor on poison.
Oh, I thought I just heard you say I could. Okay,
Okay,
well,
so I get 3 actions, right?
Yep.
That was bad. That was so bad.
This is gonna be terrible for you guys. I'm fine.
You're out there in the pool of forgetfulness.
He can still move. You never know.
Yeah.
It's not going anywhere.
Teleport everybody.
Well, yeah.
You guys want to do this again tomorrow when you all know the rules? So we
I
can
don't
maybe
think
play
that
a
would've
complete
helped.
game. Well, it would have let us finish the game.
Oh, true.
So I'm going to play the Shrieking of Many Mouths. Move 1 space, ignore on entry effects, then deal 3 damage to enemies in range and move them 1 space. I'll move here. You take 3 damage.
I'm using an armor.
Okay.
Block 1 damage.
So you take 2. I'll move you 1 space. I'll move you here.
I should shuffle my armor so I forget which one was the...
Where'd you put the card?
Which card?
The Monstrous Forge card?
Does this automatically activate?
I don't
The Monstrous
know.
Horde?
What was
Right
Monstrous
here.
Horde?
Oh, that's the other one. Okay. Yeah, that activates.
Okay.
And then I'm going to
I
play...
get to destroy the forge and gain +1 armor.
On your turn.
On
On
my
your turn.
This room is just full of forges.
My turn. Rush of Shadows. Gain 2 armor.
Cool.
What? We already gave you one.
Well, now I got 2 more.
Oh,
Move up to
yes.
3 spaces. You may ignore on entry effects for this. Then deal 4 damage to all enemies in range.
Yeah, I took it down already.
You guys take 4 damage.
Couldn't you move one and get him to?
It's
Yeah,
these two
he's
people.
over here shit talking
No.
the whole time. He's the one
Who
wanna
are you
get.
people?
Range is 0.
Oh, okay.
These waters are just
How
too
much
good.
damage?
4.
Dang, I'm using my other armor.
Oh, I probably should have done that, but I already changed the things.
So I take 3 damage. Same thing.
And then for my last, I move 1 space. If this movement causes you to leave a space containing enemies, deal 2 damage to each of those enemies.
Okay, now I'll use armor.
Now I'm out of health.
Block 3, yeah.
And there we go.
All right. A pretty brutal final turn there.
Did I kill you?
I'm out of health,
But you
so I
guys
had
are
to flip
not
over
doing
to
too
wounded.
bad.
Okay.
No,
We're
nobody,
not doing too
nobody has a wound. Oh no, she has a
I'm
wound.
both wounded.
Okay.
They're both
Yeah.
Oh, you're
I'm
both
fine.
wounded. Okay. Well,
I'm
I
the
take it
underdog
back.
story.
Nobody
I
has a
take it
wound.
The guy
back.
that just
I
sits
take it
back
back.
the whole time.
I'm
He
a
just
wizard.
wounded you. Did
Most
that?
of us.
Did you just take that one?
We're
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
do
we
all
damage.
right.
just took
Well,
it.
thank you guys for playtesting. I think I got some good data there. I hope to have you all back again soon. I hope you had
So,
fun.
be the enemy and bring a healer.
I'm gonna be the monster next time.
Look. What I was going to do when he was over here was I was going to do a nose for wealth, which is deal 2 damage to him.
Uh-huh.
And then I was going to do, where is it? Wait, why am I holding
He
a
used
poison
armor
card?
anyway,
Wind
so he
push.
would have blocked it.
I was going to push him into the poison fountain.
Ooh, that would have been
So
good.
I would have done 5 damage to him in my turn, but, you know,
Yeah,
he was being silly.
There was like a way I could have dealt a whole buttload of damage, but I was always trying to move or heal too. So
Then I had cheating death up where if I would have taken 3 damage, I would have just forfeited my stance. Oh, man. Are you going
this
to
would have been useful. if I
organize
drawn
all
this.
these?
Yeah, you guys can go back to work. I can clean it up.
Alright. What are my armor cards? Block 2, block 2, block 1.
Pretty solid.
Not bad.
Yeah, I was in good shape, guys. I don't know what
He
you
was
Yeah.
fine. You
I was
two were
fine.
screwed.
Just hanging back.
Yeah.
I was the mascot. You can't hurt the mascot. Then the morale
So you,
goes down.
you said you'll split these up. for
Yeah,
us?
yeah. I'll clean it up. All right, thanks you guys. That was great. I had a lot of fun watching you.
food.
I don't know where my class card went, but my race card. Okay,
All
here it
right,
is.
thanks for watching, everybody. Lunch is over, so we're going back to work. See you later.